Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you access to my backtest template. This is something that I have used for many months now and have constantly refined and made it better in terms of automating the inputs. So everything is basically plug and play. You don't not have to change anything on this part of the window. But before we delve deeper into this one, let's just go into the actual data collection sheet. So here I've listed a few of the things that I personally like to collect. Obviously you can change some of them. I would suggest you only change these 5, simply because none of these, there is no calculation in the data window that tracks any of these points. So just bear that in mind. You can have certain criteria here, but be aware that in the data window it's not calculated, so you have no data on this. But obviously you can filter these columns if you create a filter up there, and then obviously you can filter it that way. But these are all simply tick or cross drop downs, and that last one is obviously up to you if you want to change that, or like I said, you can change any of these. But let's jump into the actual data points that I collect. So obviously, firstly, it's going to be the pair, what pair you're trading. The open date, bearing in mind this is the US sort of date format. So if you are typing in a date, you will have to do the month first, say October 3rd, 2024. Otherwise, it might actually mess it up slightly if you do say, if you're in England and you do the day and then the month, it might actually get it confused for March instead of actually what you intended for was October. So just bear that in mind. Month first, then the day after. You have the day of the week, little drop down here. You can always actually automate this, but I didn't get around to it, so it's just a simple drop down there. Of course, the date closed as well, the time of the entry, and then the sessions as well. This is manual. I know people see sessions differently, so some people see London session from 8 till 4, others see it from 7 till 10. So again, that's why I just left this one manually for you just to input that. Obviously, direction of the trade, long or short, and then you've got P, T, CT, and not clear. So this is pro trend, so this is with the higher time frame trend. CT is counter trend, so obviously counter to the higher time frame. And then not clear is when it's all a bit jumbled up and it's just range bound. Next up, we have these 5 columns here, which are just up to your discretion if you'd like to change. Pip risk, so obviously your stop loss basically. And then the max pips. So the max pips that I do is based on the day, because I do mostly intraday. Positions. I want to see what is the maximum risk to reward on the day, what is the maximum pips on the day, rather than in total. So maximum pips, again, how far did price go? Did you miss out on significant R? And obviously this is calculated in the data window as well. Then you have the results, and then win, loss, or break even. Again, this is manually. I could probably have done this automatically, but I just couldn't be bothered. You can do that if you want. It's probably fairly simple. This you do not need to change. This is just your running P&L. So it's just calculated that way. And then there is a couple of hidden columns here, which again, you do not need to mess with. You just keep those hidden. You don't have to worry about that. So higher time frame, lower time frame. This is just going to be your trading view screenshots. So just the link to the screenshot. Any news happening either pre-entry, on entry, or during the trade. And then any comments as well. I would suggest, instead of just typing in here, to click on the tab and come to this caption box here and go insert comment, and that way it's just a little bit cleaner for when you come back to it, like such. I'll delete that. You on the end you have your equity. So again, this is going to be tracked. It isn't necessarily needed, but sometimes it's just fun to look at the monetary amounts. Again, if you're going to change it, just change this top one. I'll actually put that in blue, just so you know. I think that should be fine. But yeah, only change this top one. The rest are all done for themselves. They're already automated, so you don't need to change anything there. Okay, so that is the backtest sheet where you will collect all your data. Now let's jump to the data window. So again, basically 99% of this is going to be automated. There is a couple of things that you will have to do manually, and I'll obviously show you that as well. You have your overall P&L, your total wins, losses, and break-evens, your strike rate, and your return. This strike rate is not calculated with break-evens, so just bear that in mind. I don't typically count break-evens as either wins or losses, so I don't actually involve them in my strike rate calculation. Next up, you have sessions. So how your strategy performed during each session, strike rate and the return. Self-explanatory there. Day of the week, again, self-explanatory. And then the trend types, the performance of each type of trade. And then to the right of this, you have your returns by month. So you have 2024 here, 2023 here. These are both automated here. You can add a couple more, so you can copy and paste this if you want, and say if you wanted to do 2022 as well. Just bear in mind that you will have to change some of these calculations here. So instead of 2024, you have to change this to 2022. But again, you can probably figure that out for yourselves. You're all smart enough to do that. So again, all of these are automated. Same with the wins, losses, and break-evens, and then obviously the quarterly returns, and then your average stop loss size for that year. Then even further to the right, we have your return percentage with your drawdown, which is calculated automatically, but your peak to trough and your peak to peak drawdown length is manually. So you will have to calculate the time between the peak and the trough and then add it to here. So 2 days. And then it took another, 3 days to create a new peak, if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. And then below this, you have your equity return in dollars, and this is compounded, so you will see that the drawdown is slightly different, but that just takes into account the account size, basically. Okay, next up below all this, we have this section here, So we have the average potential risk to reward. So this is, I believe, the average of on the day. So your average risk to reward on the same day, what it will return. Average stop loss size. Your click rate, which is basically your return divided by the total number of trades you've taken. You've got your average win down here. So the sum of your winners divided by how many there are. And then gross profit and gross loss here, which is used to calculate the profit factor here. You have the average returns and trades per month. So again, all of these are automated. I think the vast majority of these should be correct, but you know, like with anything, there could be some teething issues here and there. So these should all be fine. Your consecutive losers and consecutive winners, this is something you will have to do manually. I'm afraid I could probably find out how to automate it, but again, I just didn't get around to it and I couldn't really be bothered. Just wanted to get this out to people. But again, that should be a fairly simple task to do. You just count the red ones and the green ones. Simple. Next up, you have all of your sort of return metrics. So you have your expectancy, your return over max drawdown, your Sharpe ratio, which you're going to have to do manually. It was a little bit complicated to automate this, so I decided against it. But again, once you have all your returns, it should be fairly simple to do. You have your karma ratio, which is done manually. And you have your profit factor. This is done automatically. And you have your profit factor, which again is done automatically. Next, you have the returns of trades based on the stop size. So again, these go up to 40 pips. Not many people take more trades with a bigger stop than 40. I know some people do. You can change these, but again, you're going to have to change the formulas within here as well. So you can see this is 5 to 9 and this is 5 to 9. It should be 9. 5 to, okay, so let me just quickly fix this. And then you have the time of day as well. So what, the times of day that the entries form. And I've highlighted the London session open and the New York session open as well there. So that's basically the sheet. I hope you enjoy it. Obviously, if there's any questions or anything you want me to add, do comment below and I will try and get it fixed up. But again, I will share the link below. It should be the first in the comments. And then once you do open this up, just go ahead and click File, make a copy, and then you can edit it to your heart desires. So thank you for watching. Enjoy this template. I hope it helps you collect data, and I will see you all very soon. Cheers.